it's so secretive. Nobody wants to talk about domestic violence. It's an important book to read because domestic violence is an absolutely taboo subject. It's pushed underground, nobody wants to address it, nobody wants to talk about it.
Prison Without Walls is a book written by Bristow. It gives validation to survivors of domestic abuse. It takes you through the process of being in an abusive relationship, but gives you the knowledge and education around the characteristics of somebody who would have sociopathic tendencies.
I've been a victim of domestic abuse for 19 years. At first I was really ashamed of that fact that I'd let it go on for so long. And it's that shame that really kept me entwined for longer. And I just thought, no, this has got to stop.
I would highly recommend it to other therapists and practitioners working, particularly if you're working within domestic violence or working with survivors. Kelly describes a number of different techniques that you should be using with your patients.
It's an important book to read because it validates every person's experience. If they've experienced domestic violence, whether it's emotional, verbal, physical, psychological, financial, whatever type of violence, the person that has experienced it will read this book and feel validated. And that's something that us victims don't get. It's not something that's given to us, it's something we have to find.
It's very powerful, and you can realise that what you're actually going through is gone through by many, many other ladies.
One of the things that's quite unique about this book is the therapist is an occupational therapist, and that demonstrates what an occupational therapy does. We don't actually get people a job, we do a lot more than just facilitate adaptations. So if you want to understand what an OT does in a therapeutic setting with mental health, this book will tell you exactly what we are about.
For me, I can relate to the book Prison Without Walls. There was areas in the book that I could really relate to in my story, and in particular the dramatic ending was poignant for me. This book really is a true reality of domestic abuse.
Going through exactly what Kelly details in this amazing book, so I would highly suggest that you get yourself a copy and read it today.
Charity supports survivors of domestic violence and also parents going through family court processes with abusive partners.
I wrote the story to raise awareness for victims and also for other people to, if they are going through this sort of abuse, to recognise it, and the education that comes through the book will help that person to move forward in their life with understanding of why this entanglement has happened.